Okay, well, we're recording now. All right, we missed the first 30 seconds. That's all right. Are you super clear? Are you clear on how you're starting your day, what your mission is? Okay, so yesterday on Vox, you heard me talk about hurry and hustle and rush and if you're not sure if you think hurry and hustle and rush is good or bad, you go ahead and do it and then look at your heart rate and how is your body feeling. And are you tripping over yourself and did you spill and did you not allow enough time to clean up the dog crate that you suddenly had to clean up because there was that? And you're trying to get everybody out the door and you're in a mess, you're in a rush, you're in a, so I heard from this book, podcast something, if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you hurry. So somehow in this world, we think busy is good. We think hurry, we think rush. We're like, oh, everybody's got to do it all the time. You guys, slow doesn't have to be bad. Okay. Someone is mentally challenged. They're slow. A movie is boring. It's slow. A conversation goes on too long. It's slow. Someone can't walk as fast as you when you're on your dog walk. They're slow. A turtle, a hare. Oh, the turtle is slow. Hare is fast. Hare is in a rush. Okay, so what happens when we don't take a step back and look at, this is not how I want to start my day. This is not how I want to live my life anymore. There has to be some sort of awareness. If you are just setting your alarm in just enough time to do all the things and get ready and get the kid and make the lunch and blah, 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 and do all the things and do all the things. And then you're rushing out the door and then you're rushing in the car and then you're rushing and then you're sitting in the traffic and then you're rushing into work and you're rushing into the meeting and you're rushing. And oh yeah, I forgot to listen to Vox. And oh yeah, I forgot to journal. And oh yeah, I forgot to do this. And then you're rushing home and you're rushing to make dinner and then you're hurrying to do this and you're hurrying to make your booking calls. And I can't get it all done. And oh my gosh, yeah, I said I would do this and now I'm not doing that. And I'm rushing and rushing and hurrying and hurrying. And it's creating this anxiety and it's creating this fear of the future because I don't know if I can get enough done. Oh, you guys, if the last 2 years has taught us anything, it should have reminded us about our priorities and what's really, truly important, right? And what we're seeing already now, and I talk to my top director friends about this, and I hear this from nationals, and I hear this from key people in the company, is that somehow this busyness, this rush, this hurry is coming back. And yet, people are still not going on vacation. They're still not doing anything. A bunch of them are still working from home. There's actually no reason. But people go back to their old mindset, their old way of thinking, and go back to the rush. I don't know when it became, like, when did you guys, like, traffic jams are like in the morning and at night are the rush, right? The rush home, the rush. If you look up rush, if you look up hurry, and if you look up hustle, they're not really the best definitions. So it doesn't mean we don't ever hurry, rush, and hustle. But if we are constantly in that mindset, you guys, we're going to burn ourselves out and then we're going to blame it on the good things in our life when it's not the good things in our life that caused us to hurry, to hustle, and to rush. Okay. All right. There is my opening for you. Good morning, Kirsten. It is wonderful to see you today. So based on what I just said, could someone offer some comments around what I just said? Because I would love to get your thoughts before I move on to our next little segment. Megs.
So when you were talking about that on Vox yesterday, all I kept thinking was, when I start to rush around, then even when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. And so I am, my goal is to be more present in everything that I am doing. So if I am, yes, there are times when you can think about things when you're like, if I'm making a lunch, I can think about like, what I'm going to do and who I'm going to call for a booking or whatever. Like, that's okay. But like, if I'm sitting down with Harper and helping her with her homework, I don't want to be checking my phone. I don't want to be like thinking about this report I got to get done tomorrow. Like, I just want to be sitting there and helping her. So I've been trying to just be more present in the things that I am doing while I'm doing them, and trying to get rid of some of the other distractions while I'm doing it. And actually, I'm a whole lot more efficient, which is great.
Yes. Preach. Be more present. Yes. Be more present. I love that, especially with Harper Grace. Mom, is your hand raised? That's what that is, right?
Yes, that's raised because it's my photo.
Right.
I do have to say that I know that with age, I have learned, and it's a blessing to get older because you learn along the way. In fact, you keep learning. That's why I'm here today. That you can accomplish just as much if you take your time. I don't mean be turtly, but you do take your time to do something correctly, so you don't have to do it 10 times because you messed it up so many times. And that is really critical when you can't take extra time to do something, like extra days. You have to get it done in one day. So do it right, do it properly so that you don't have to go back and fix stuff all the time. It's an age thing, and it's easier when you're older because you can't hurry and you can't rush. I can still drive fast though, darn it. So that's my take on how to fix the rush, is just pay attention to what you're doing and do it right.
So that would be like, thank you for sharing that, Mom. We love your wisdom. We always do. That's just right back to what Maggie said about being present with what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
Thank you, Donnie.
So yeah, when you were on the box, I was also thinking about how else I could frame it. It's not that I use the words rushed or hurried a lot, but what other words, what other phrasing? So I came up with urgent and being timely. Because
Yes.
you need to have that sense of urgency, but you don't have to speed through things.
Yes. Oh, yes. What a great way to say that. Yes, your sense of urgency and timely. Yes. And doesn't that feel better?
Yeah.
I can have a sense of urgency about getting out the door. I don't have to use hurry. I don't have to use rush. Oh, don't be late. Yes. You can have a sense of urgency. You know, I've been teaching you that for 25 years when you're booking and recruiting, right? Sense of urgency. If you're going to talk to her today about the opportunity, tomorrow is 24 hours away. That's a long time. Sense of urgency. Talk to her again in a couple hours. Talk to her again tomorrow morning. Whatever, right? Sense of urgency without feeling hurried and rushed. Because you know what else, you guys? Thank you, Donnie. Appreciate your perspective. You know what else, you guys? This is what happens. This is what I see, especially at the end of the month. I'll go back to gallery for a second, and then I'll let you comment more if you'd like. This is what I see at the end of the month, is this hurry, this rush. Oh, now I'm desperate. Now I'm desperate. Now I'm going to put on a 50% sale because I didn't reach my goals. Now I'm going to tell this girl, if you just sign up, you don't have to do anything. You just sign up. I just need one more. Just sign up. Or this, okay? Hurry, rush, desperation. Now I'm desperate. Now it's the end of the month. I didn't reach my goals, and now I sound desperate. And now I'm putting out a sale, and now I'm saying, I just need your help, which you just said last month because you didn't do it right last month either. I just need your help. I just need this. Need, just need, puts you down, puts you down, puts you down. And if we went along with the month with that sense of urgency and timeliness, wow, would that feel better? Right? Megs.
That's why I think that 30 items in 15 days in the first 15 days is brilliant, because you're not rushing during that time. You are like just attempting to get that goal done.
Yes.
But then by the 15th, if you've done it, you've already sold like a chunk of change. Like I love that. That's one of my favorite programs that we do because it gets you moving, because there's always a sense of urgency toward the end of a month when you are attempting to like finish something, right? I
Yes.
mean, people are procrastinators. It's just kind of in our nature. I'm not sure why, but that's just kind of how it goes. So when you actually do that fun game in the beginning, I don't know, it's just those months that I hit that are like my way better months than any other months.
Awesome. Let's write that down. Maggie, write that really big on your notes. When I do the 30 items in 15 days, I have amazing months. 60 items in 15 days is where all of you on this page should be at, by the way. And if you're watching later, the playback, the same. What diggity?
Last month was actually the first month that I tracked my total items throughout the month. I mean, I tracked the first 15 days, but last month was the first time that I was like, I'm going to continue to track this because this is fun and exciting. And I love the little stickers, and I have a whiteboard in my office that I tally up the people or the orders, whatever, the items, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
And I had 97 items, and it was just so much fun to like keep tracking beyond that 15 days. So
Yes.
Maggie, if that's something that excites you in the first 15 days, keep it going, because I'm going to start keeping track every month now.
Yes. I love that. And that excited you and you did it.
Yeah.
And do you remember what day you said you had 79 and what day I said go for 100?
It was probably like the 20th or something.
It was about the 22nd.
22nd. Okay.
Yeah, I
Very good.
challenged her to 100 and she reached 97. Now, what if I wouldn't have challenged her to that? And what if she wasn't tracking that? I love it. Also, you should record a million things today, because your makeup, your hair, your sweater, your lips, your product, your sash, all of it, all the things, your
Thanks.
boxes in the, yeah, record a bunch of stuff today.
Okay.
Magnificent. Magnificent. Kirsten or April, do you want to weigh in?
Sure, I'd be happy to. First, apologies for being late. And I'm getting the gist of the conversation. So when I think about, reaching these goals, it's always what you think about and what you set your goal. You'll find the action there. If you put it down, if you write it down, if you track it, you find action. Without that, you're kind of wandering. And so I saw the graphic and I'm like, wait, I thought we started at 9:45 or 8:45. So I jumped in and it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I got the graphic, I'm tracking, I'm going to double this today because you
Yes.
posted that.
Yes.
And so it's like what you put in front of you, what you have a goal. If you see it, think it, it can happen.
Yes. Preach. Okay. I need to do a quick side story for those that are new, because April doesn't know Kirsten yet. Kirsten, meet April. April, meet Kirsten. April is a shining star in the Rise unit. Like, girl is killing it. Girl is killing it. Girl is highly motivated for her family and her daughters.
3 girls.
One daughter.
Nope, 3.
Three daughters. Okay. That's even better and more and great. And April, I want to talk about relationships real quick, because I have used Kirsten's example of a relationship for nearly 25 years, and now she's here. And talk about not hurry, not rush. Talk about loving and believing in somebody, and the sense of urgency and all the things. So Kirsten and I met nearly 25 years ago when our daughters were in 3-year-old preschool together. And Kirsten's husband at the time is who dropped off the kids. And so I would see him all the time. And he started telling her about me and told me about her. And so I liked this one before I even met her. I'm like, I got to know who this person is. And then I see her and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like statuesque and beautiful and professional. And she's in the teaching field and she's like walking down the hall all classy. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can ever talk to her. Yeah. Shut up, Lisa. Yes, you can. What do you have in common? You both have 3-year-old girls. Okay. All right, fine. So then I'm like building up the courage, because I find out through her husband that she's interested in the Mary Kay products. He tells me. Okay, she's already interested. Make up a script. Talk about what you're going to say. Just put something in your head. Okay, get this thing in your head. I get this thing in my head. I see her. I talk to her. We're walking down the hall. I know where. I know when. We're walking down the hall. Pick up the girls. We're walking out. And I'm like, "Brrr." Don't remember a thing I said. Pretty sure I sounded like an idiot. And she goes, yeah, that'd be great. Yes, I did it. Okay, we book an appointment. When is it? On a snowstorm day when everything is canceled. What do we do? What do we do, Kirsten? We did it anyway. Brought the kids. Three moms were there. All the kids playing somewhere. Probably took all day. And I'm thinking, ask her about the opportunity. Get confident. Okay, because this is what you do. It's full circle. You know, you want her on her team. The worst she could say is no. Kirsten, I'd really like to talk to you about this business opportunity. I know we've been here for a long time. Kids are playing. Somebody started a. I would very much like to talk to you about that. What? Can you come back tonight? Yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I can talk to you. Yes, I can. Kirsten was an integral part of us becoming a brand new unit in March of 1999. She was on my car winning team in 1997. That's how long you were with me. Yeah. Okay. Now life happens. And you know what? It does to people. And you keep the relationship. And don't know why, but Kirsten's phone number, 745-9414, I have known since the beginning of time. And Kirsten had life happen and we like didn't see each other as much anymore. You know, the kids go to school, whatever. We don't live in the same community. And every once in a while throughout the years, I would just call that number. Hey, I'm thinking about you. I wasn't even sure if it was the right number anymore, but I was pretty sure it was. And I thought, well, if it's not, somebody's getting a really nice message. And fast forward, we've seen each other on and off throughout the years. We've always had a relationship. Didn't always see each other, but we've always had this relationship. April of 2020 or 21, something like that, quite a while ago, she pops on mine, Cece, and Andrea's one of our parties. And I'm like, you guys, Kirsten's watching. Cece and Andrea are like, I love her. What's she doing? I'm like, I don't know, but she's watching. We have a quick messenger conversation. Life happens again. Our conversation just kind of stops. That happens. And I'm like, I just keep wondering how she's doing. So I just keep poking in there. Hey, would love to have you back. Hey, how's it going? Now Kirsten's got life and she's going on through other things. So Lisa and her pokes are not on Kirsten's top priority list. That's fine. You know, like everyone has a life outside of Lisa Mack. I don't know how they can, but apparently they do. And I invite her and then she's on a handful of other things watching. I invite her to Prize and Possibilities. Be my guest, love to have you. And I'm like, what's the worst she'll say is no. We've been in communication. I now helped her with her new wedding makeup. I helped her with her daughter's makeup. We are really getting really connected again. I'm going to ask her. She gets 50 entries if she decides to sign up. I didn't know what she was going to do. She's like, I'm just going to do it. What? Miracles welcome. I welcome miracles into my home and I'm like, yes. What I text her, bold, music to my ears. She's like, I don't know what it means yet. I'm like, that's okay. We'll figure it out. Relationships. Now you know who I'm talking about whenever I tell the story, because April, now you know her. All the other girls knew the story. I love telling it. I love telling it because there's so many lessons in it. Don't worry about what you're going to say. Just say the stupid thing. No one knows what's in your head. Don't worry about what you sound like. Keep the relationships. Keep checking in. I didn't care if she responded to me or not. I needed her to know as a human being, I was thinking about her. And can you just tell the necklace story real quick, please? Because it would be my honor to hear that again.
Yes. So I have this wonderful necklace and it's not showing. Here it is. I wear it every single day. Once in a while I change it. It's just like that piece you wear because it's your default thing. And so before my 17-year-old was born, Lisa she had a challenge and I'm prize motivated. and there was this really cool bag, and there was a challenge you could earn it. And so I got the really cool bag, and I also earned this necklace. This was unknown to me that this was going to happen. Lisa's like, I got something for you because you did so amazing, and I think you'll love it. And it's a sterling silver, 2 little tags, which are so in right now. Anyway, you know what comes around goes around, and it says dream and believe. And so I've worn this as my staple piece of jewelry since then. So probably 18 years. And I'd hold my brand new baby and he would play with it. And it's just something that's always been close to my heart in Lisa and my experience with Mary Kay and what it's done for me over time, over and over and over and again. So it represents all of that.
It made me tear up just as much as it did when you said it on your debut. This time I was ready though. You guys, you just don't know. You just don't. Thank you for sharing that again. You just don't know the impact you're making. So to come back, if you're in a hurry, if you're in a hustle, if you're in a rush, you're going to miss possibly the thing right in front of you that is imperative. You know the story of the Good Samaritan? You know, where the person was beat up and gross and all that, and people kept passing by. And then the Jewish person, no, the Samaritan, hello, the Good Samaritan, went over to help the Jewish person, that was like, you don't do that. You don't touch them. You don't look at them. A priest passed by too, you know, and he just felt like his mission was the next thing. It wasn't this thing right here. No, nothing against him. He just thought it wasn't that. And in his time and in the law, it wasn't that. But the Samaritan, the person from Samaria, was like, I see someone in need and I need to take care of them. That person was present. That person was doing the sense of urgency and timeliness, like Dawn said. Also, I would really encourage you guys to watch The Chosen, which is about Jesus's ministry, the 3 years of his life. And that story is in there, and a backstory and a front story that might be partially created and mostly true, that makes you go, I know that story. I know this. That's where this is going. Okay. Also, side note, when you hear a podcast, when you hear something you love, when you have a great conversation, how you learn it better is immediately upon hearing it, you teach it, you share it, you tell someone. So I'm sharing things with you that I have heard in the last 2 or 3 days on several different podcasts. And I learned how to do that from Rob Dial Jr., who's one of my favorite podcasters, Rob Dial Jr. So he is not, well, I don't know if he's Christian or not, but he does occasionally have swears, and he is very in your face like I am. So if you like that, but you like the direct approach of hearing things once in a while, you might like that. Okay, so I do. So it's where I get some information, but he's the one who said, teach it. Tell yourself if you have to. Tell your dog, tell your cat, tell your kid, tell your wall, tell yourself in your mirror. Okay, that's how you're going to learn the thing. Okay, April Stern. April, weighing in on our conversation so far.
It's so funny because Cece is working with me on being more aware of how I do things, like my processes and all of that. So she gives me weekly challenges that I have to work on. So this week, actually, I did that Clifton report.
Yeah, your strength finders. Yeah.
Yes. So we just recently started working on that. So this week, I have been reflecting on whether I'm in the bridge or the basement as far as that goes, for how my day is and how I could have implemented something different throughout the day that would have been more positive as opposed to the negative. And definitely it's been a challenge for me, and I love it though. Yeah, and one of the things that I definitely want to work on is being more present in my life, my children's life, my husband's life, everyone around me, really. So just being more aware of how I can build stronger relationships with everyone is definitely a huge goal for me. And same as Kirsten, I love the challenge to win something. That's one of the things that motivates me too. So
We
I
know
love
that
when I
about
get
you, by the way.
I love it. I love challenges. So it's great that there are so many different ways that we can challenge ourselves to get something. And it's been a great journey. I mean, I've only been doing this for, 4 months and I love it so far. So you ladies are all just so incredible. So I'm definitely grateful for having you ladies in my life and the knowledge that you have. So I appreciate it.
Oh, April, awesome. Your willingness to learn and grow is like huge. And Cece talks about you all the time to me, just so you know. So I know I got a pulse on where you're at. And I'm like, does she know how close she is to 1,000 wholesale and getting a free product? And Cece's like, yeah, mom, she knows. And I'm like, of course she does. Thank you for your willingness to grow. And April, one of the things in our culture that we have created for nearly 25 years, which Kirsten right there is the evidence of it, is we create quality human beings before a beauty consultant. We create people, we create women, lead, courage, and, lead, encourage, what is it? Lead, support, and encourage women to become the confident and courageous person God intended you to be. That has nothing to do with, and lead them to red jacket. That has nothing to do with lead them to senior consultant. That has nothing to do with lead them to quarter sales. That is to create that human that you were created to be. In doing your actions and self-growth in your business, those things will happen. The goals, the quarter sales, the directorship, the red, all the things. But it can only be by becoming the person you're supposed to be that those goals can be accomplished, right? So I love that you said, April, about being present. I love that you said that. And if we're in the hustle, and if we're in the hurry, and if we're in the rush, we're missing the present. I also heard this. Now, this was interesting to me. This was said to me on Quantum Leap class on Thursday again, part of which I've been sharing this hustle and hurry with you. One of the things that was said was, then when you get distractions, like your kid walks up, your husband walks up, the dog walks in, or the phone rings or whatever, you get irritated and frustrated that you got one more distraction that you got. But what if you welcome the distraction as an opportunity to just be present with something? Now, I think you have to kind of take that thought with a grain of salt. And I think you still have to weigh in on it, because you can't just like be in the middle of something cool and my alarm goes off. Because by the way, that was my savings Saturday reminder to put money in my Saturday savings account. I was not going to look at that right now while you're talking and go, oh yeah, I'm saving money for a trip. I don't mean that. I mean, like, okay, like, can we take stuff with a grain of salt? Can we not be so black and white that Lisa said, welcome this distraction? And now you were going to get 10 booking calls and the dog needed to go out. And now you're like, oh, the dog's more important than my booking calls. I'm not saying that. Okay. But maybe a kid does walk in, or something happens, or a friend unexpectedly comes to the door and you need to get out to an appointment. And you're like, okay, I wasn't expecting that. But you give that person your presence just for as long as you can, and not stand there and listen to them going, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go. You just give them the time that they need for a moment and say, gosh, I would love to carry this on longer. I simply need to get to an appointment. So I put this into action the other night. I told Terry, I was eating, and what was I doing? I was getting ready for Thursday night to do the 2 boosters. And I was reviewing my notes, and I'm like, I'm going to go eat in the kitchen. I still have to review my notes for the thing tonight, make sure I got it. Okay. So I was setting up in advance, don't talk to me because I'm eating. I'm not going to go downstairs to my office and eat and do this. I'm going to eat. Well, he forgets, because why wouldn't he? He's in the other room and he can't see me. Hey, da 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 da, start saying something. So I just set my stuff down. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then he says a few more things, and I'm like, yep, okay, got it, yep. And I'm like listening. And then he kind of said one more thing, and I'm like, okay, babe, really got to finish this. Oh, yep, sorry. But I didn't get automatically frustrated and be like, I just told him I'm sitting in here. You can't talk to me. Blah. I just, and you know what? He was almost done. So like, don't be so dismissive. Don't be so dismissive. And by the way, huge self-awareness, because when you have self-awareness, you can recognize you're doing this. When you have self-awareness, you know what you're doing and acting like. And if you should go, ugh, like I will, after this is done, I'll review it and go, I could have said that better. I could have done this better. Oh, shoot, I wanted to say that. That is just in my ever present wanting to do better and be better. I don't get mad at myself or beat myself up. I'm just like, oh, geez, I could have done that better already. Oh, I could have had a better conversation about that yesterday. I want to be better today than I was tomorrow. I want to be better in the next half hour than I was in the last half hour. April, is your hand up to say something or you're saying preach?
A little bit of both.
Okay, okay.
It's so funny that you said that about Terry, because when we had Ignite 2022, he was up here playing his game while I was sitting at my computer. He knew I had my headphones on, and he would every so often have to say something to me. So I would like move one of my headphones so I can listen to him. And then I'm like, okay, yep, gotcha. I gotta listen to this. And we did that a bunch of times throughout the day. So it's funny that you said that, because being present and giving him that little bit of time that he needed while making sure that I was focused on what he was saying. And then I was like, yep, that's fantastic. I gotta listen to this though.
Yes. So you handled that brilliantly, right? And you could have been frustrated, man, like, I told you. Blah, blah. Where does that get you? It doesn't get you anywhere. Okay. It is already 7 minutes after 9, because that is what happens when we do these. So now I'm going to switch gears a little bit on thoughts. Okay. And I put myself on spotlight. So if you guys could go into your corner and hit speaker view instead of gallery, and then it's one less distraction. Okay, so I'm going to look at the blue light and concentrate on what I'm saying. So I'm going to talk about thoughts now. And some of you have already mentioned this and also got this from a recent podcast. And by the way, there's always going to be new podcasts coming up and speakers that you want to listen to and all of that, because information needs to constantly be shared or it gets lost, right? Information needs to constantly be shared or it gets lost. And I'm going to interpret something that I just heard differently than how it was said. And if you listen to the same podcast I did, you're going to pull something different than I did, because you're in a different spot, you're in a different house, you're in a different place in your life than I am. We're not living the same life. So you might pull out something different. And that's why it's so cool to like listen to one thing together or read a book together and then talk about it, because you're, oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, I didn't even think of that. So let's talk about thoughts and overthinking, underthinking, what you're thinking. Okay. So I found this fascinating. This was on Rob Dial Jr. again, I believe, whatever, doesn't matter. And he said, you're not your thoughts. Now you've heard this. Fascinating. He said, and you can answer me if you want, or it'll be rhetorical. What are your eyes created to do? What are your ears created to do? What's your mouth created to do? What are your hands created to do? What's your brain created to do? It's created to think. So that's what it does. So you can't get mad at it when it does that, because that's what it's supposed to do. So if we're not hustling and hurrying, we're actually being present. We're actually allowing those good thoughts to come into our heads. Okay. It's also why meditation is very hard, because you're trying to turn the brain off from doing the very job that it's supposed to do, but you can redirect it. Okay. So the brain was made to think, so stop trying to turn it off. You can redirect the thoughts though. And he said, what's interesting is people will call him and be like, how do I stop overthinking? How do I stop worrying? How do I stop doing this? How do I stop doing that? And he goes, you know what? If your thoughts were all based around helping people and the passion that you're doing and the love that you're putting out and what you're donating and how you're creating this and that, he goes, nobody ever asks me to help them overthinking positive things. It's always stressful, negative things. And he said, so you can actually train your brain on what you want it to think about and take control of it, so it's not taking control of you. So he said, what will your thoughts automatically do is create a future for yourself, right? What you want your life to look like, what it's going to look like in the next half hour, what you're going to eat, what it's going to look like tomorrow, your goals, what it's going to feel like on June 30th when you accomplish the goal, what your NSD house is going to look like, what your room's going to look like when you paint it, what your kids are going to grow up like. And then what happens? You put stress and anxiety into those thoughts. What if it doesn't work? What if this? What if it doesn't work? Hello, you're creating the future. You can change the thought. You're the one creating what you want the life to look like, but then you put anxiety in that. What if it doesn't work? You're the one who put the picture in your head. I heard this and I'm like, okay, stop it. You're the one creating what you want to see. So put the good ones in there. Capture the thoughts. Capture what you want it to look like. Don't stress down the road that, oh my gosh, when I get there, there's going to be a long line in the drive-through because there always is. And now I'm going to get anxious because I'm going to be late to work. Why are you putting that in your head? Why don't you put in your head that today there'll be a short line? Okay, I started doing that recently. It's amazing how much you can find rock star parking and short lines. If you put that in your head before you get there, you know, I've been saying, how long I've been saying this, you're going to make up a story. Why don't you make up a good one? And then who cares if the line is long when you get there, you can be like, oh, well, I guess I was wrong about that. Instead of, well, I guess I was right. Are you so busy trying to be right about something bad that you're not allowing something good to come into your head? Oh, that was good. Are you so concerned about being right about something bad because you want to be right instead of opening the possibilities about what good could happen? Ah, you know what else about that hustle and hurry and all of that? If you are constantly in that state, you will constantly be behind because you leave no room for something else to happen. I have been building in time to get places for years. I no longer say, and have not, maybe since Mary Kay, probably, because you really got to get to your appointments on time or you don't look good, because everybody's time is valuable. I build in, I no longer say, okay, it only takes 30 minutes to get there. If I leave now and if I don't run into traffic, I will get there at this time. I no longer do that. Does that still happen? Yeah, because I'm not perfect and it's life. But if you build in 5 to 15 minutes extra, 5 to 15 minutes extra, you're not freaked out when there is construction, which, okay, there probably will be. You're not freaked out when you get stopped by a gratitude train. Ask me what that is if you're not sure. You're not freaked out when there's an accident. You're not freaked out when you get there because you spilled your coffee on your shirt because you weren't rushing. Okay. You're in a much calmer state. And then what can you do when you get there if you are actually 15 minutes early, which never happens, because there will be delays and there will be stuff that happens. You can do a quick live on your customer group. You can do a quick live for your team. You can check your messages. You can leave a voicemail for somebody. You can get there and just be in a calm state and, hey, look around and be in a state of presence. And maybe you do get to go in early. Maybe you do walk into the doctor appointment 5 minutes early because maybe today they'll be on time. But if you don't get there early, how are you ever going to know if they could be on time if you're not? By the way, I'm a subconscious thinker or speaker. So words come out of my mouth as I'm thinking them. And it's one of my strengths. Number 4 is communication, which means I can not only speak about it, but I can convey that message to people very easily. Keep working in your strengths, my friends. And that's why I can convey things to you personally, individually. Okay. So what do you think about those? What do you think about that? What do you think about what the brain does and those thoughts? Okay. What do you think about all of that? Comments. We got time, man. We got time.
Okay, I can't raise my hand.
You're fine, Mom. Go ahead.
Okay, I love the idea of building in the extra time, and I have been doing that, and surprisingly, I'm getting to places either on time or just a tad early, and if it's too early to walk into the building, I can sit and do a quick message check, or I can make a phone call. I can do a lot of little things that normally I wouldn't have had the time to do if I had cut my time too short before leaving. And I have been, it's about probably 2 years that I've been doing that. And, you know, so it takes a little practice to be able to remember to do all of the things that you wanted to do before you leave, and to sort them out if you can't, so that you can leave on your sense of urgency, timely thought. So thank you. Thank you for reminding us of all of these things that we probably could put into practice a little bit more often and just forget.
You're welcome. And thank you for continuing to be a lifelong learner. Do you know that's the thing that Cece talks about you the most? My grandma's still learning.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, keeps you young. Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Who else? Oh, no, this is right. Okay, I was like, did I go over 15 minutes? No, I didn't. Megs.
So you've been saying for, excuse me, for a few weeks now, you've been saying you're going to tell yourself a story to make it a good one. So I love that. I think that that is great. So the thing that I like, though, mostly about what you said is that you can redirect your thoughts. So I had read a book one time that said your first initial thought is just like whatever your past was. So like whatever your past experience has been, your biases, your all the things, right? So whatever your first thought is, okay, this was the best thing that they ever told me, doesn't mean it's right and doesn't mean it's actually you. Okay, I love that. So now I've been like, you know, okay, so because sometimes, you know, we have those first thoughts used to be for fight or flight. So they used to be to protect you. So whatever that first thought was doesn't necessarily mean that it's you. So if you have this crazy thought and you're like, where the heck did that come from? Like, don't beat yourself up about it, because it's not necessarily what you think, and you can fix that. So like now when I've been making up stories in my head, and I'll be honest, occasionally they're not good. I'm working on that. But I'll have like this bad story and I'll be like, is that even true? Like, just even ask yourself, like, is that really what's happening? Or are you just afraid that's what's happening? And then I'm like, nope, I'm going to make up the good story. So that might have happened, but you know what? I think this is where I want it to go. So I'm just going to go with that and move on with my day. So that's what I've been doing. And it's actually, I'm not as tired as I used to be, because I think, you know, negative thoughts make you tired. So like, if you can nip them in the bud and like actually question if it's true or not. And then if you're like, no, that's not true, that's just not right. So here's what I want to happen. Then it works better. And that's what I have to say about that.
Yes. Woohoo. Fact. All right, Donnie, I'm coming to you.
Maggie, that was fantastic. And also I love how we've been taught, Mary Kay, that get out of your head. It's lonely and dark in there. And I just want to remind people that if you are in a spot where you're having trouble with repetitive thoughts, things like that, reach out to your director, reach out to your doctor, and talk to a counselor, see about medication, because sometimes trauma happens in our lives that get us off track. And it's okay to get those things out, just reach up.
Thank you. I hope everyone watches this back and takes notes. I want to watch it back and take notes because I'm standing, I can't take notes. Mom. And then Whitney. Oh, she's thumbs up. Whitney.
My word for 2022 is mindful. And as part of that, I have started to meditate somewhat regularly. I don't want to say regularly because I'm not quite to the point where I'm doing it every day because I have a hard time sitting and just being with my thoughts. But I've been doing these guided meditations. And one of the things that this teacher is teaching me is that when thoughts pop into your head, it's okay to acknowledge them and say, oh, yep, I gotta pick up milk at the grocery store, but then let it go. And sometimes if you don't acknowledge those things as they pop into your mind, then they just like build and build and build and build and build. So I appreciate what you said earlier, Lisa, about not necessarily like letting the distractions take over, but acknowledging the distraction and saying, yep, I gotta get milk. Okay, I can put that aside. Now I'm focusing on whatever the intention is for this meditation. Because I don't know about you guys, but it is hard to sit and just be with your thoughts. That's the thing that I've had the most challenge with is just letting my brain relax and letting my mind relax and for 5 minutes. I mean, it's not even for a long time, but just allowing myself to have that time. But I have found that when I do it, the rest of my day is amazing.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? You can be alone with your thoughts because that's what the brain does. You can just retrain it to, for 5 minutes, I'm going to focus on this thing.
Yeah.
And then when the milk thought comes in, or the kid or whatever thought, not the actual person thought, no, this 5 minutes is for this.
Yep.
This 5 minutes is for this. Even if you just say, this 5 minutes is for this. You're retraining your brain and telling it, I'm in control of you. I'm telling you where to go. You're not just going to randomly make me go places, right?
Yep.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And also learned from my quantum leap class, you don't have to have an opinion about every thought that comes into your head. So that is like what Maggie said, the initial thought is whatever the initial thought is. You cannot stop that, but you can control the second thought. Learn that from Rob Dial. You can't control the first one, but you can control the second one. Maggie.
So I was going to say, Whitney, just keep going because it gets easier, like anything that you're starting to train yourself. So I've been meditating now every single day for 5 years now. It's how I start my day. And I would have a hard time shutting off my brain. And I thought that's what I was supposed to do. But now it's different. Now, like I went through this big physical healing process a few years ago, Lisa knows about. And the way that I healed my body was actually to do this meditation. So like I would lay there in bed and I would think about what I wanted to happen with myself instead of just trying to not have other thoughts in my head and go blanks.
Yes.
I started to think about like what I wanted things to be happening. And so I think that's what Lisa's saying is, if you don't have to go blank to meditate, you can choose what story you're putting in your head. So you can choose to see yourself walking across stage. You can choose to see part of your body being healed. You can choose to bring in peace. You can choose to, so like I do a combination of prayer and meditation now every morning before I get out of bed. So my alarm goes off and then I have another alarm set 15 minutes later and I don't get out of bed until that second alarm hits. But during that first one, I just lay there and I meditate for the whole time. And I say prayers and I do that kind of stuff because that's how my brain works. And I can't just shut it off. It's got to be going somewhere, which is what Lisa, you said.
Yes, it has to be going somewhere. It can't turn off. And also the regular world wants you to make it turn off. And how about we just talk about guiding it elsewhere, guiding it towards, real quick, Mom.
Okay, so I am a prayer warrior. Everybody knows that. And Maggie and you are personal, and Dawn are personal witnesses to that. And I have found over the years that positive prayer, healing thoughts actually do work. So make sure you're doing that for yourself, and for your loved ones. And then you can add friends, and then you can add strangers, and it doesn't matter. You keep these healing thoughts, these happy thoughts, and your whole world is better. It starts better that day and it keeps going better.
Fact. Thank you for sharing that, Mom. And April, I also wanted you to notice that the women you are surrounded by, including Kirsten, who obviously had to go, have been on our Mary Kay team the longest, and are here still learning. So when they say school's never out for the pro, these are the women that I'm talking about. These are the women, not the 5-year girls, not even the 10-year girls. These girls, the 15, 20, and 25-year girls. This is who I'm talking about. So April, you follow any of these women, you'll go places that you never thought you could go. Plus, your director is very good at coaching you, by the way. Okay, lastly,
Yes, she is.
I should have let you comment there. Sorry. Lastly, miracles are welcome. So this is what I focus on, you guys. So my word for the year is miracles. And I am telling you what, what you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. What you look for, you get. Kevin Keppel in our Quantum Leap class was telling about when he was a hockey player, young hockey player. I think he was 20, 19, whatever, early 20s, doesn't matter. Young, hot-headed guy. And there was a fight in the corner with one of his teammates. And he beat it over there and pulls up ready for a fight. And he got flagged, he got fouled, and he had to sit out. And he's like, "Ref, what are you doing? I didn't even do anything." And he's like, "Yeah, but you got what you were looking for. You came over for a fight. That's what you came over here for. So get out." And he gave him a penalty simply because he came over to get in the fight and look for the fight. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for the fight, or are you looking for the miracle? Are you looking for intentional, like Rhonda's word? Are you looking for peace, like my friend Melissa Walzak's word? Are you looking for mindfulness, like Whitney's looking for? What are you looking for? Because you're going to get what you're looking for. And then I believe that the thing you're looking for, you guys, get yourself a little sign or make one with a freaking marker. Your word of the year, welcome. Mindfulness, welcome. Okay. This is called an emotional, okay, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a physical anchor to your emotional goal. It's a physical, I can see it. This reminds me of my goal. It reminds me of my word of the year. It reminds me of what I'm looking for. It's physically there to remind me what I'm doing and what I'm looking for. It's on my desk. I see it every day. Last night, I took my computer upstairs. I put this on a prominent place on my desk, and this morning I woke up. This is not the first thing I saw. Saw my bed. It was the first thing I saw as I was waking up. When I came down to my office, this is the first thing I saw sitting on my desk. Miracles are welcome. Miracles are welcome. So then when I hear things like some stories that you guys tell me, or stories that my husband or my kids tell me, I'm like, not surprised. That's what I was looking for. I want to create them. I want to be part of them. I want to watch them. I want to see them. I want you to be part of them. When you guys tell me that someone said yes for the first time in 25 years after you asked them, I'm like, not surprised. Because we're looking for miracles and we're welcoming miracles. So God really can do anything. He can work miracles through you, through your health, through your family, through your friends, through your mindset, through your thoughts, through your hustle and your hurry and your rush. He can work miracles through your presence, being present, right? And you guys need to get on stage at Career Conference. Seniors and super seniors, they just announced, get to go on stage. Seniors and super seniors, you're all past that, okay? Red jackets and above, going on stage. 3 qualified and above from December 1st to February 28th. If you have 0 now, you could still have 3 qualified by February 28th, are getting that special luncheon. And our goal is 10 attendees at that luncheon. Is there any reason why the 5 of you that are on here live with me couldn't be one of those 10 attendees? Is there any reason why April, Dory, Maggie, Whitney, Dawn, and I know Kirsten who went off, and Steph G who's watching back, is there any reason why you couldn't be the 7 of those 10? This is a head shake. Nope, Lisa, there's no reason why. Lisa, I don't know if that was my goal. Well, it is. Because whatever Mary Kay wants to offer you, whatever prize, whatever gift, whatever challenge, whatever thing, doesn't matter if you make it or not. It's who you become in the process on the way. What's the worst that'll happen if you don't? You get 1 or 2 qualified? Oh, sorry. Okay, that'll move most of you up to team leader. April's got her best friend as her first team member. What a first team member. 2 more, April. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. 2 more to go. What a representation of the RISE unit you will be. Courage Nation, we got to step up our game. We're capable of more. Are you willing? You are capable of more, of being more. Are you willing? Are you willing to be more? All right, that's it, 9:30. I love you all.